Hello, everyone. If the book we're going to be talking about today is any indication, then this year is going to be a great year for horror. It's special for a couple reasons, which we'll talk about. It's also very scary, very well written, and it'll make your mind blown at the end of it. Trust me on that. So let's talk about all that right now. All right, so the book we're going to be talking about today is Sundial by Catriona Ward. As I said, this is kind of a special video because first, the very first video review I did on this channel was for her last book, Catriona Ward's last book, The Last House on Needless Street. You should check it out. It's down there below. And I gave it high praise because it was an awesome book. But also, this is the first time I'm reviewing the same author twice. Dun, dun, dun. That's right. There's going to be more to come because there's a lot of great authors out there. They have a lot of books. This is her fourth, I believe. But she's the first one I've reviewed twice. So this is a special video. But let's talk about the book in question called Sundial. It's a new release. Just came out a few weeks ago. And man, this one surpassed my expectations. It concerns a woman named Rob. And Rob has a sister named Jack. And even that little bit of information. You got two women who are named Rob and Jack. Later in the book, these things will be revealed about why they have those names. And even that little piece of information winds up to be really creepy and sad in the worst kind of way when we find out why they're named this. But we'll get there. But Rob and Jack, her sister, grew up in a very unconventional kind of way. And Rob's always wanted a more normal, domesticated lifestyle. She's married to a man named Irving. They have two kids, Annie being the youngest, Callie being the oldest. But let's talk about her family. She wanted a normal family, but she never quite got there. Maybe on the outside they look normal, but inside it's all turmoil. And it's not just dysfunction. There are deeper things going on there. Her husband is a manipulative, narcissistic, controlling kind of man who wants things his way. And he will manipulate everyone around him to get his way, including his wife and his children. He's prone to fits of temper where he will take something and throw it against the wall to smash if he doesn't get it, smash it against the wall if he doesn't get his way. And Rob's afraid that one day all that anger is going to be taken out on her. She's pretty sure that one day she's going to be his victim. She's going to be murdered by his hands. They don't really have a loving relationship. It's more of a contest to see who can have more control. And that's never a good thing. But she has bigger fish to fry because of her daughters. Her daughter Annie is the youngest. Annie's kind of a mama's girl. She's a more normal child. She likes to play. She has a good imagination. She likes to pretend she's a princess. All the things little girls like to do. But Callie, on the other hand, is 12 years old. She's more of a daddy's girl. And she's very unemotional. She's very detached. And she's also a budding psychopath or serial killer. One day, Annie takes some of her dad's diabetic pills thinking they're candy and almost overdoses on his medicine. They don't know how it happened, but when Rob goes to investigate, she finds a cubbyhole in Callie's room, and in that cubbyhole is a knapsack, a backpack, let's say. And inside is a carcass of an animal, as well as the lid to the pill bottle. that Annie had taken. Upon further investigation, her daughter Kelly likes to sketch, and she sees drawings of animals on her wall, but when she takes them off, they feel a little heavy. She turns them over, and there, glued to the back of the pages of the pictures, are the cleaned bones of the animals depicted in the front. So right away we see that maybe Callie is a danger to her sister and perhaps other people, as it appears that what she's going through is escalating. Plus, Callie talks to imaginary people that are not there. She's done so all her life, and there's a presence that she calls Pale Callie that stays with her and goes with her wherever she is, even against her will. So yeah, there's a little bit of an issue there. Rob, against her husband's wishes, decides she needs to take Callie out of the house. And they're going to go on a little mother-daughter adventure, just the two of them together. Because she has to figure out if she can't protect both daughters, can she protect one? And what lengths does she have to go to protect her other daughter from the one she thinks is going to cause her other daughter harm? She decides to take Callie, just the two of them, out into the desert, to the home that she grew up in. And it's way out in the desert, very isolated, away from everybody, nothing but desert on one side, forest on the other. Well, not forest, but a tree line on the other. No way nobody can walk out of there neither, as we're told in the book. If you don't have a vehicle, you're not getting out unless the elements will kill you or the wild animals will. But they call this place Sundial. And as Rob is deciding what she needs to do and building up the courage to do the things she needs to do to make sure that at least one of her daughters is protected, a mother's worst nightmare having to make a decision like that, she decides to sit her daughter Callie down and tell her some things, explain her past about growing up at Sundial, the kind of life she led, all about her sister that she doesn't really talk about anymore. They don't speak. And that's the crux of the story. That's where this book does something magical and wonderful, because we begin to see that her and her sister Jack, as they were growing up, they lived on a little commune, but it was also a place where they experimented on animals, stray dogs, behavioral studies. They would put implants in the dogs' heads and control them with a remote control. They made their own drug trying to change the DNA of these dogs and their behaviors. So it was on one part hippie commune, the other part like a horrible Manson family situation for the dogs anyway. And they grew up very unconventionally, basically being free to make their own decisions and homeschooled and not really being able to experience much of life outside of this place they call Sundial. But it's much more than that. And here's why you have to read this book, because that's just the setup. Everything that happens after would be a spoiler, so I'm not going to mention it. But it is so good. It is one of those things where you can't stop reading. I picked it up and read it in a day and a half, because every time I had a chance, I had to go back to it. I had to find out what happened since the last time I read it. I couldn't keep away from it. My mind kept going back to it. I had to keep going back until the very end. And this is what's great about Catriona Ward's writing. Okay, just like in her previous books, she will lead you by the hand, letting you know what you need to believe about these characters and about the world and about what's going on. And at the end, her secrets are revealed. They push out, and everything you thought is wrong, everything you thought was going to happen is something completely different, no matter how horrifying you think a situation is going to be. The secrets she reveals at the end of this book are even more horrifying, if you can believe that, but it's true. And but her writing doesn't give that away. She's an expert wordsmith. She writes in a way where something could have two meanings, but you automatically think of the more natural one, the one that will first come to mind. And why not? Why shouldn't you? That's her job as a writer. But then at the end, I mean, there are so many twists and so many things going on at the end that it's so thrilling that you won't want to put it away. You won't want to stop reading. You can't stop reading. This is just a fantastic book. And even at the end, after all the secrets have been revealed, there's another secret, the last few pages, that I never saw coming, I never expected, and it changes the course, really, of the whole story, just an extra few pages at the end. Very nice, delicious, oh my God, mind-blowing twists at the end that are really, really sad and also really, really terrifying. And they will make you think about things. She's a writer that after you read one of her books, and you know all the secrets, you know what's going on, you have to go back and start it over. You have to read it again. I've already started it back over. And then you'll be able to see the clues and the things that you missed the first time because you weren't aware. It's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. It's a blast to read. And it's also very, very scary. This is a scary book. And you'll be freaked out a little bit as you're reading along, trust me. I'll leave a link down below if you want to purchase it on Amazon, of course. And just do it. Just do it. And also, I'll leave a link below for my Twitter if you want to join me on there. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking a little bit of your time spending it with me. I really, really appreciate it. Until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.